Yeehaw! It's rodeo time in Houston, so I decided to make something with beef. I will make a rolled beef. The recipe is on my blog since a while, but there's no video, so now let's fix that. So for the beef, I have bought some very thin sliced strip beef loin, and I could use it just like that, but I want it to be even more flat, so I'm using a little bit of cling wrap here and flatten it. So it's a lot thinner now, and then I use some mustard and spread it all over this meat, especially on the top. That's where I use a little more, and I make it a little thinner down here. Okay. And then I take some bacon and I put it on this meat, and I could also use 2 slices, but I think that's enough. Then I take some carrot that I have prepared, and also a pickle and some onions. All right, so now I'm going to roll this into a beef roll, and I start here with the part where I put the vegetables. Oh wait, almost forgot. Don't forget that. Put a little of salt in here and a little bit of pepper. It just gives it a little more taste. And now I'm rolling this. I'm going to tuck this in all the way down until here. And I have these little, tiny little, what is it, needles, and I use this to fix it. And you probably don't have it, and I don't even have enough of them for all the rolled beef that I'm gonna make today. So you can also use some toothpicks instead, or some kitchen twine. Alright, so this is the first one, and I will continue with the other ones. So with my last one, I want to show you how I'm doing this with the kitchen twine. So I start and wrap it around one end twice, and then I go over to the other end, wrap it twice, and I cut it here, and now I use both ends to just make a knot or 2, and that's all there is to it. So this should hold it together quite nicely. All right. So now, since I have prepared all my rolled beef, I will go over to the stove and start with braising it. Alright, I have heated some oil in this wonderful pot, and I will now add these beef rolls to the oil, and I will braise them from all sides. So I have to turn them after a while and fry them from every side. Make them be a little bit brown like here. It's very nice. And I've already some vegetables here. These are soup vegetables, and it's basically root celery and some leek and some kohlrabi. You don't need to have this, but it adds more taste to the sauce later. But you can also just use some vegetable or some beef broth. Usually when I buy these soup vegetables, I cut them into cubes, as you can see, and I freeze them, and whenever I need some, I just take them out of the freezer, thaw them, and add them to my soups or whatever I'm cooking, just like here, like the rolled beef. They look a little bit mushy, but that's no problem. It's mostly about the taste and not so much about the looks. So I turn this a little more, and I think I have to increase the heat a little bit. I turned it down earlier because it took me so long to adjust the cameras and the oil was a little bit too hot. So yeah, let's give it a few more minutes and then I will add the vegetables. Alright, so this looks good, and I want to add the vegetables now. I need a little more space since the pot is not really that large, and I just throw it in here. And I let this fry a little bit too. And I can smell the mustard. By the way, if you wonder which kind of mustard you're supposed to use, you can just use any mustard that you like. I have my German-Rouladen, which I like a lot. If you can get this, go ahead with it. If you can't get it, just take any American mustard. It's no problem. Doesn't taste too different. Okay, I think they warm a little bit. And I have some broth here. This is beef broth. You can also use some vegetable broth. I just happen to have some beef broth in the fridge. And I have 2 cups here, but I will at the moment only use 1 cup. And I heated it in the microwave. It's warm. And so I add about a cup. And put this back into place. Alright. And I will add a little more to have it more covered. And now this will boil at a medium temperature for 1.5 hours, and in between I will check if there's still enough fluid for the sauce and to cover the meat during the cooking process, and yeah, then I'll take it from there. Yes, now doesn't that look nice? Look at these. I was cooking them for a little over an hour now, and I think they are done. Since I made the the meat that flat. It doesn't take the entire 1.5 hours. And yeah, you can see this basically falls apart when I try to poke into it. So I take these out because I have to take care of the sauce now. And while this was cooking, in between I checked if there's enough fluid still in there, and I also turned them a little bit just to make sure they are in the sauce from each side. Oops. Okay. Let me set this aside. And now I will take the sauce, and you can see there's not too much sauce left, but I want all these delicious things to loosen from the bottom of the pot. So I can use this for the taste in my sauce. Alright, and I will give this through this sieve. And now I will use this card to squeeze this all through the sieve as good as possible. You have to be careful, it's very hot. I also try to get some of the vegetables squeezed through this mesh. And the sauce already smells very good. I will try it, see how much seasoning there's still needed. Let me take this over. And I will put it back here. Alright. So, let me taste this. Delicious, but it's a little bit too salty, so I will add some water. And I will bring it back to a boil. So salt is definitely something I do not have to add here. And while I bring this back to a boil, I will use some cornstarch in cold water. So I use 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and I mix it with the water. It has to be cold water, otherwise you would have some lumps. And you can already hear that this is almost boiling, just a few more minutes. And in the meantime, I have peeled some potatoes, which will be aside. You can also add some red cabbage as a side, very delicious. You can look up the recipe in my videos. It's one of the most popular videos on my channel, and it's totally worth making it. It's very, very good. The traditional German red cabbage recipe. They're basically two. One is more on the sweet side, and the other one is more on the, I would say, hearty side. I prefer the sweet one. Okay. Yeah, so it's back to a boil. Let me taste it one more time. If I have to add a little more water. Yeah, it's still a little bit too salty. And what also helps very good for sauces that are too salty is putting some sour cream in there. And that also makes it nice and creamy. Let's see how this tastes. Yeah, that's perfect. So I add some of the mix, I stir it, and I let it boil for a little bit. So this is thickening the sauce, and I have to figure out how much of my cornstarch mix I have to add. I don't want to turn it into a pudding, so yeah, I think that was already enough. It always depends on how much liquid you have in your pot, how much of the cornstarch water you have to add. And while this is boiling, the cornstarch is doing its magic and thickens my sauce quite nicely. So I can turn this off, and if the potatoes are ready, then I can actually serve our lunch for today. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, visit my blog, and of course subscribe to my video channel on YouTube, because there are more delicious recipes on the way. Thanks for watching. Bye!